SNAFU is an acronym that stands for Situation Normal, All Fucked Up. It was military slang during World War II, and the soldiers who coined it were essentially saying, yeah, everything's a disaster, but hey, isn't it always? Over time, the term traveled beyond the battlefield and made its way into our everyday language. Today, according to Oxford dictionaries, SNAFU means a confused or chaotic state, a mess, a definition that frankly could apply to everything from assembling IKEA furniture to your last family vacation. But the SNAFUs in this book are not your run-of-the-mill slip-ups, like accidentally using ranch dressing as coffee creamer. In my defense, it was in a very tiny fancy-looking carafe. No, these are the big mamas, the epic blunders that unravel like slow-motion train wrecks, except it's like 10 different trains derailing in every direction, with clueless officials insisting, everything's fine, while entire towns get leveled in the chaos. And these disasters aren't confined to one poor soul making a bad decision. They're massive, institution-shaking calamities that drag entire governments, corporations, and far too many innocent bystanders along for the ride. And yet, like rubberneckers at a car crash, we just have to watch. There's something weirdly irresistible, almost primal, about witnessing a colossal screw-up. That's why I started the SNAFU podcast a few years ago, available wherever you get your podcasts, 5-star reviews welcome. But I was quickly awed by just how many catastrophic screw-ups litter our past. The deeper I dug, the more I realized that humanity's Hall of Fame-worthy blunders needed more than just a podcast. They needed pages, glorious, printed pages, to fully capture the breathtaking scale of our collective idiocy. And thus was born the book you now hold in your hands, or see on your screen or hear in your AirPods. Hello there. The stories in this book crisscross America and span every decade since World War II, revealing a rich tapestry of human folly that, frankly, makes me feel a lot better about many of my own life choices. Now, you've probably heard the old saying that tragedy plus time equals comedy. Mark Twain supposedly said that. Or was it Carol Burnett? Either way, I'm stealing it. And that's certainly true, but I would argue this book is about much more than retroactive comedy. It's also about reassurance. Because if history teaches us anything, it's that we've been royally screwing things up for centuries, and yet, somehow, we're still here. In other words, no matter how disastrous things have gotten, whether it's world wars, financial collapses, or the time someone decided to put pineapple on pizza, humanity has demonstrated an uncanny ability to bounce back. And that actually feels like a pretty useful lesson right now. We are living in a time of non-stop anxiety, where every news update feels like we're inching closer to oblivion. Climate change, global conflicts, social upheaval, sometimes it feels like the whole planet is just one bad decision away from getting snuffed out like a birthday candle in a tornado. But guess what? That feeling isn't new. People in the 1950s were terrified of nuclear annihilation. The 1970s brought an energy crisis and disco. The 1980s had acid-washed jeans and actual acid rain. And somehow, despite all of it, life moved forward. Humanity stumbled, adapted, and against all odds, kept going. That's the strangely uplifting message buried in all of these SNAFUs. No matter how idiotic, short-sighted, heartbreaking, or downright absurd our mistakes have been, they haven't taken us out yet. And it turns out studying them can be a weirdly optimistic exercise. Sure, it's easy to despair when the world feels like it's unraveling, but looking back at our collective blunders serves as a powerful reminder. We've been here before, and we'll get through this too. So consider me, Ed Helms, your unofficial history teacher. Grab a number 2 pencil, dust off that 3-ring binder, and pull up an unreasonably tiny school desk. I'll be at the front of the class lecturing with gusto and just a hint of coffee breath. Together, we'll explore the wonderfully insane world of SNAFUs, and who knows, you might just learn something. Let's dive in, shall we?
To keep listening to this audiobook for free, click the link in the description. It will take you to a free Audible trial where you can listen to this and many other books for free for 30 days.